So I would say let's start standing, especially if you're feeling a bit sleepy today. Let's begin standing. Very nice. And just gonna start with a little bit of easy movement. So a little bit of bend in the knees and just twisting from side to side. And just moving arms and breath. Again, making a sound if you feel like it, if you're on your own or if you're two of you together. Whatever sound you want to make. Celebration sounds, sad sounds, happy sounds, angry sounds, tired sounds. And really twisting all the way around. Nice. And then again, moving with the breath, coming into the middle and going in and out. In and out. Nice. It's quite a warm day today, so we don't need to do too much warming up, but nice to have a little bit of movement. And then just a little shake, whichever way. So shaking the hips, twisting the hips, twisting the shoulders, ankles. Nice, more of an ecstatic dance than a yoga class in this particular moment. Okay, and then when you're ready, come forward to the front of your mat, feet pointing forward, and we're just going to start with planting the feet down, spreading the toes wide, slight bend in the knees, pulling the belly button up towards your spine, rolling your shoulders down, chin parallel to the floor, and nice deep breaths, just planting your feet into the ground, growing up from your feet into the space above your head. Nice deep breaths. And then with the next inhale, bring the arms up, looking towards the ceiling. And exhale, bending the knees, bending down. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, keeping the knees bent, folding all the way down. Inhale, hands come forward. Exhale, legs come back. Inhale into your plank, and then knees, chest, and chin all the way down. Inhale, bring the forearms forward. Exhaling here. Inhaling, rolling the shoulders back, looking up towards the ceiling. And exhale, placing the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, coming up onto your hands and knees. And then inhale, rolling into your downward dog. So keeping the knees bent, pushing the hips up towards the ceiling. Nice deep breath, dropping the neck and head down. And then patting one foot and then the other foot towards the floor. Nice deep breaths. Stretching out the back of your legs. And then inhale, looking towards the hands. Taking baby steps towards your hands with your feet. Bring the feet slowly towards the hands and then bending the knees. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, folding down. And then inhale, nice and slowly, taking a few breaths. Bring the hands all the way back up towards the ceiling. And exhale, bring the arms down. Nice. And then inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, folding down, bending the knees nice and slowly. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, bring the hands forward. Exhale, bring the legs back. Inhale to plank, and then knees, chest, and chin down. Inhale, bring the forearms forward, or you can keep your hands a little bit further under your shoulders and start to press up, looking up. Stretching your front body, and then exhale, come down. Inhale, tucking toes under, coming onto your knees first, and then pushing up, hips towards the ceiling. Spreading the fingers out wide, nice straight line from your hands to your hips and bending the knees. Nice deep breaths. And just exhaling and spreading your shoulder blades apart, making a nice big stretch between your shoulder blades. Inhale, looking forward and taking baby steps with your feet towards your hands, bending the knees, bring the weight onto your feet. Inhale, stretching forward. Exhale, folding down, keeping the knees bent. And then inhale, coming up, reverse squat, nice and slowly, all the way up towards the ceiling. And exhale. Okay, we're gonna do that one more time. I'm quite warm, I don't know about you, it's pretty warm up here. But we're gonna do it one more time just to be safe. So inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, folding down, keeping the knees bent. Inhale, bring the hands forward. Legs come back. Inhale to plank. And then knees, chest, and chin. Or if you want to go down in plank, that's also fine. But otherwise, knees, chest, and chin. And bring the legs back. Inhaling, bring the forearms forward. Or coming onto the hands. Rolling the shoulders back. Looking up. Exhale, coming back down. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, coming onto your knees. And then when you're ready, exhaling up into your downward dog. Nice deep breath. Maybe bringing your feet out a little wider, your hands a little bit wider, so you have a bit more stretch in your hips and a little bit more space between your shoulder blades. Nice deep breath. And then inhale, looking towards the hands, bringing the feet in if they were out. And again, taking baby steps towards your hands, bending your knees, bringing your weight onto your feet. Inhale, stretching forward. Exhale, folding down. And then inhale, nice and slowly, coming all the way back up. All the way to standing, reaching up. And exhale. Nice. Okay, take a little shake if you want. Before we take a nice big step down the mat. Nice, toes pointing forwards and maybe even slightly inwards. Bring your hands to your hips and inhale, opening the chest. Exhale, hinging forward at the hips. Bending the knees when you feel that your back is starting to round, and then placing your hands on the floor. However much your knees need to be bent. Inhaling, reaching forward. And exhaling, folding down. You just need to find the sweet spot where you feel like you're as stretched as you need to be. And then relaxing your neck and head down and just leaning into it. Nice deep breaths. So not trying to overstretch yourself into a place that your body doesn't really want to go into. Just finding that sweet spot where you're stretching your inner thighs, your back, your shoulders, your arms, your neck, and it's feeling good, not painful. Nice deep breaths. And then inhale, slowly coming up onto your hands. Exhale, bending the knees and placing your hands on your hips. And as you inhale again, nice and slowly coming all the way back up to standing. And releasing the arms. I'm going to turn around, but you can stay where you are just so that you can see. And then inhale, opening the arms. And exhale, interlacing your fingers behind your back. And opening the chest as you inhale again. Exhale, coming forward this time, being very, very careful. The exercise is not to fall over, so coming forward as far as you feel comfortable, and you can keep your hands where they are. If you feel comfortable enough and you feel stable, then you can start to bring your hands up and over your head, relaxing your neck and shoulders down. Again, just finding your sweet spot, finding the place where it feels comfortable. If it doesn't feel comfortable with your hands over your head, then you can place your hands on the ground. Nice deep breaths. And then inhaling very slowly, coming all the way back up, knees bent, and releasing your arms, shoulders down. Again, don't move. I'm going to turn around so you can see. And we're going to do one more exercise here. So inhale, bring the arms out, and again, opening the chest as you do so. And then exhale, coming down with your hands like a bird, taking hold either of the sides of your legs, the sides of your feet, or your two big toes with 2 fingers and a thumb. And then inhale, reaching forward again. Exhale, bring your elbows out as you fall down. Again, as with all these stretches, finding the place where you feel comfortable and like you're stretching rather than it's painful, and then just allowing yourself to relax into that space. Nice deep breaths. Keeping your elbows and your shoulders away from your ears. Finding your balance. And one more deep breath. And then inhale, looking up. Exhale, placing your hands onto your hips. And then nice and slowly with bent knees coming all the way back up. Excellent. Very poised, everybody. And then inhale. Bring your legs back in. Have a little bit of a shake. Maybe your hips feel really tight on one side, really loose on the other side, like mine at the moment. And then coming back to the front of your mat. We're going to take another big stride down. Take a bigger stride than your last stride. Turning your left foot forward, forward to your left. Right foot comes in about 45 degrees. And then we're bending the left knee, not more than 90 degrees. So your knee is always this side of your ankle. Taking a nice strong stance, building a nice foundation with the legs. And then once you're happy with your legs, inhaling, bring the arms out. Nice and strong position, warrior one. And just to make yourself feel even stronger, looking down your left hand, breathing. So nice strong arms, strong legs. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can dip down a little bit more. Maximum 90 degrees, you don't really want to go further down. And nice deep breaths. We're going to stay here 3 to 5 deep breaths. And then inhale, coming up with your legs. You can bring your arms down and keep them where they are. Turning your right foot forward. Left foot comes in 45 degrees. Again, finding that position with your knee. And then dipping into your warrior position, looking down your right arm. Looking happy or looking serious, it's up to you. Nice deep breaths. Should hopefully make you feel quite empowered and quite strong in this position. As if you're ready to go. I got some thumbs up. As if you're ready to go into some kind of battle. Nice deep breaths. One more deep breath here. And then inhale, coming up. Letting go of the arms. We're going to do one more. So while our feet are in this position. So turn back to your left foot forward. Right foot in. Your knees are in the same position. And this time we're going to bring the left leg and left arm to the left leg. And then make a straight line from the right foot to the right hand, looking forward. Or if you feel really steady, then looking to the palm of your right hand. Nice deep breaths. Engaging your core so that you're not just wobbling about on your feet and knees. Making as much space as you can to breathe into your chest. And then exhale, looking down, and then inhale, coming up, changing the feet round. So bring right foot forward, left foot in, bring the legs back to this warrior position, and then bring your right arm to your right leg, left hand in line with your left foot, and looking forward. If you feel happy, then you can look to your left hand. Nice deep breaths. And one more deep breath. And then as you exhale, looking down, inhale, coming back up. And then bring the feet in together. Having a little shake. And then coming back to the front of your mat. Feet pointing forward, parallel with one another. Inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, folding down, bending the knee. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, folding down, keeping the knees bent. Inhale, hands come forward. Exhale, legs come back. Inhale into plank. Knees, chest and chin all the way down to the floor. And then inhale, rolling up. And exhale, coming down. Bring your hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, coming onto your knees first. And then pushing up into your downward dog, finding your position. We're not going to stay here very long. It's just to stretch out. Nice deep breath. And then inhale, come down to your knees and come to seated. Bring the legs forward. Feet forward. Removing the meat from your seat, as one of my yoga teachers used to say, finding your sit bones. And for today, you can start either here or with your legs slightly apart. Bending the knees if you need to in order to have your spine long. And finding your comfortable position, placing your hands in a comfortable place. This may feel fine, or that may feel really hard on your spine, so placing your hands somewhere where they feel comfortable. And just finding a place where your spine is long, shoulders are down, and breathing. Nice deep breaths. So kind of being active and passive. I always think of just a baby that's kind of plopped down on the floor and they just sort of sit like this. And as we grow older and our limbs get longer, it becomes more and more difficult to do this, but it's good practice to do it once in a while. And then for the next couple of breaths, you can stay where you are if you're happy. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can, as you inhale, lift up and out of your hips, and as you exhale, come forward slightly. Bring your hands just in front of you. That can also work if your legs are straight in front of you. You can start to come forward with your hands. If your legs are a little bit out wider, bring your hands between your legs. And then inhale and coming forward with your chest and your chin. So you're not rounding down, you're not coming down with your forehead, but you're coming forward with your chest. And again, like with everything else, the point where you feel like the stretch is just good and not painful, and just staying there. Nice deep breath. Nice. And then just to mix it up and so that you can really feel the difference, inhale, come back up if you were coming forward. And this time I want you to round your spine and really come forward as if you're kind of a little porcupine. So you're coming down with the top of your forehead down towards the floor. Rolling forward. And then inhale, coming back up. We're going to do a vinyasa to keep warm. You can set it out if you want to. If you want to stay warm and do a little bit more movement, we're going to go through our cycle of up dog, down dog. So bring the legs straight forward. Very rolly much. Bring your legs straight forward, cross your shins into your chest, and just lifting the hips up slightly. You can roll over your shins if you feel comfortable, or just roll into seated. Bring the hands forward, legs come back, however you got there. Inhaling into your plank position, and then you can come down in plank with your elbows by your sides, or come down knees, chest and chin. Bring your legs back down. Inhale, forearms forward or hands under your shoulders. Inhale, coming up, and just taking a little bit more time than we usually do to come up. So the important thing about the back bend is that you're not putting all of the pressure in just your lower back. So we're very slowly opening the chest first and then coming up. So wherever you need to place your hands in order to do that, without your voice going squeaky, and pulling your shoulders back and looking up. Nice deep breaths. And then exhale, slowly coming down, placing the hands under the shoulders, tucking the toes under, inhale, coming on to your hands and knees. And again, pushing your hips up towards the ceiling, bending the knees, bring your heels down towards the floor, into your downward dog. And then inhale, bring the knees down. And you can cross the shins and roll back, or just roll back comfortably into seated. Bring the legs back out again. Remove the meat from your seat. Find your sit bones again. And this time bringing your right knee into your chest. Now I'm going to use a pillow. You definitely don't need to, but I have a slightly delicate knee, so I'm going to use a pillow to do this. But either way, it's good practice to bring your knee into your chest first and then roll out from your hip. If you've got tight hips and your knee doesn't come all the way down to the floor, it is quite a good idea to put something underneath your knee, just so that it doesn't put too much strain on your knee, in fact. You can grab a pillow if you didn't have one by your side. And then once your leg is out to the side and your front leg is forward, you can redirect your torso forward towards your straight leg. And then inhale, bring your arms up so you're lengthening up. And then exhale, folding down towards your front leg. Placing your hands wherever they go. Sometimes it's helpful just to place them on either side of your leg or your foot. And then inhale again, coming forward with your chin and your chest. So the opposite of a little porcupine, rounding down. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, folding down. Nice deep breaths. And again, finding a position where you feel comfortable. If your knee hurts, then come out of it, find a different way for your knee to be so that it doesn't feel too uncomfortable. The majority of the stretch should be in the back of the front straightened leg and a little bit in your hip. Nice deep breaths. And then inhale, coming back up. Bringing the right knee up, straightening it out. Inhale, bring the left knee in. And again, you can do the same thing, taking your cushion or your rolled up blanket, whatever bolster you need if you're also going to do it on the other side. If your knee on the other side is fine, you can also bring it all the way out to the floor, like mine. And then inhale, straightening your torso forward. And exhale, folding down towards your front leg. Nice deep breaths. Again, reaching with your chin and your chest, coming to the place where you feel like it's just about enough of a stretch, and then trying to relax into this position. Nice deep breath. Trying to focus on what feels good about the posture rather than what feels bad about the posture if possible. And then inhale, coming back up. Bring your knee in, take your legs out. We're not going to do a vinyasa here, we're just going to shake the legs a little bit so that we can move to the next posture. So again, finding your sit bones, and then you might beat a cushion. This is a completely reverse thing. So you bring this time your right knee in, and then take your foot out behind you. I'm going to turn around so you can see. So take your foot out behind you, make sure that your toes are pointing away from you. And in this case, you might find that your hips are a bit tight either side, and then you might want to have a cushion underneath your non-bent knee, like so. You might do, you might not do, you might feel completely fine. But either way, you can choose to sit on the cushion or not. Finding, again, your forward, you can also have your legs slightly out to the side, whatever is comfortable for your knee and for your hip. And then inhale, coming forward. Again, inhale, reaching the arms up, and exhale, coming forward. You might find that if your knee is really close to your body that you sort of start to fall to one side. You can either take your knee out a little bit or use your hands to level you out to stay forward. Inhale, reaching forward, exhale, folding that down. Nice deep breaths. And again, trying to focus on what feels good rather than what feels painful. Keeping a slight bend in the front leg if you need to, if the leg that's straight out feels like too much. Nice deep breath. And as you inhale, slowly coming back up. Bring the right leg forward, nice and slowly. And again, finding your center before you bring your left leg back and repeating the same thing. So making sure that your toes are pointed away from you and finding a position that feels comfortable, maybe taking the block or the pillow underneath your non-bent knee hip, whatever feels comfortable for you, taking the knee out if you need to. Just make sure that you're comfortable first before you go deeper into it. And then when you're ready, inhale, bring the arms up and exhale, coming forward again. Inhale, reaching forward, exhale, folding down, finding your sweet spot and trying to relax into it. Nice deep breaths. I also had a yoga teacher who used to say, if anything in yoga, you really become very familiar with your toes and you really learn to love your feet because they're in your face quite a lot, which is very true. And inhale, nice and slowly coming back up. And bring your legs back forward. Again, you can stay here or you can follow the vinyasa again so that we don't get too cold. So from having your legs straight, bring your shins into your chest, bring your hands down by your hips. Inhale, pressing up. And then exhale, you can roll forward over your shins or come forward onto your hands and knees. Bring the legs back and inhale into plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin all the way down, or you can bring your whole body down in one go. And inhale, coming up onto your forearms or onto your hands. Inhale, really enjoying the stretch upwards. And exhale, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under. Inhale, onto your knees first, and then pushing up into your downward dog. Nice deep breaths, spreading your fingers out wide, spreading your shoulder blades apart. And then exhale, coming onto your knees and sitting back down. Then you can cross the shins and roll back. We'll just come back, bring the legs up. And this time we're going to open the hips a little bit. So starting here, bring the soles of your feet together like a book. And again, finding the position where you're exploring where you need to place your feet and your knees in order to feel like you can have your spine long. And then placing your hands either on the outside of your legs, on your shins, on your ankles, or actually on your feet. Inhaling, nice long spine. See how that feels. Nice deep breaths. And then once again, if you feel comfortable, you can inhale up and then forward. Coming forward, again with your chin and your chest, finding that sweet spot, seeing how that feels. How your inside of your hips responds, pulling the shoulders away so you're not going down. You're coming down like a book more than like a little rounded, I don't know why porcupine is in my head today, but that's the word that's coming to me. Nice deep breath. And then inhale, coming up, and then just to feel the difference, round your spine and really come with the intention of bringing your head down towards your feet. And then inhale, unrolling yourself. Okay, so from here, we're going to explore a little bit with what we've tried before. So coming on to your, it's just slightly behind your sit bone and bring your feet up. We're not going to do anything crazy today. We're just going to explore with our balance. So bring your hands to the outside of your feet and you can just stay here. So engaging what in yoga we call the Mula Bandha, which are the muscles underneath your belly button, sort of between your pubis and your belly button. So it's like a really useful deep set of abdominal muscles so that you don't fall over. And then inhale, just playing around, doesn't matter where you end up, with your feet. So maybe you stay here. Maybe you bring your feet all the way up and then you roll backwards. If you roll, just make sure that you round your spine so that you don't hit anything. And just testing, just seeing what happens with your balance. What happens when you bring your feet out? Are they shaky? Do you feel like rolling backwards? And if you manage to get your feet all the way out and you feel really comfortable, but only if you feel really comfortable, then you can start to look up towards the ceiling, wherever you are. Nice. And the rolling is good, it's encouraged almost. Very good, everybody. Really nice. And then bring the legs in when you're ready. And we're going to roll back. I'm going to try and demonstrate it from two angles so that you can really see what's going on. So rounding the spine, coming down, and then bringing the legs up, bending the knees and taking hold of the outside of your feet so that your knees are on the outside of your body into what we call happy baby, or also what some yoga teachers affectionately call meerkat pose. In a yoga class, when you're all in this position and you bob your head up to see what's going on, it looks a little bit like a meerkat popping its head up. So first step is just to find a comfortable position here. Second step, if you're happy, is just to rock very gently from side to side. It should feel like a nice kind of back massage. But also it's a hip opener. So the idea is that you're not pushing down with your hands, you're sort of just allowing your hands to guide your legs down, and your legs are coming down with gravity, and your hips are opening very gently, very passively. And you're still making as much space as possible to breathe into your lungs, breathing with the movement, moving with the breath. And then you can really intentionally try to bring one knee towards the floor, but not roll all the way to the side. And then bring the other knee down to the floor, but not all the way down to the other side. So you're really gently sort of rocking this boat that you've made with your body. Nice deep breath. Beautiful. Okay. And then bring the knees in together. Bring the knees into the chest. Crossing the shins, taking hold of your feet, and then keeping your back nice and rounded. Inhaling, rocking back, and exhaling, rocking forward. And you can do this a couple of times until you roll all the way up to seated. Brilliant. Okay, we've got one more before we start to wind down. If you have a pillow or a block or something nice that you can put your bottom onto, grab hold of it. And then coming onto your feet, we're going to go into a squatting position. Now, the reason I put something behind me is just so that I don't roll backwards. But the idea is just that you're sitting, however much you need to boost the seat behind you. I'm sitting as low as I can, as comfortably as I can. And again, if this is too much on your knees or on your hips, try and sit on something because it really helps. So step one is just to sit, sit down. And then if you feel really comfortable, you can bring your elbows just on the inside of your knees and place your hands together. If you really want to challenge yourself, you can get rid of the booster entirely and just find a position where you feel comfortable. Now, to a lot of people, this feels extremely uncomfortable because this is generally not the way that we sit in the West. But it's very, very good for your hips. Nice. Nice deep breath. Also, it really helps if you bring your feet outwards to the side. If you try and do this with your feet parallel, forward. It's very, very difficult. So make sure that your knees feel comfortable sitting on something if you need to. Nice deep breaths. Making sure that your spine is as long as you can make it in this crouching position. Brilliant. And then maybe next week we'll work our way into balancing from here. But for now, we'll stay here. If you want to, I can see some of you, if you want to come forward and balance on your hands, please go ahead, it's your practice. But if you're happy to stay here, then stay here. Okay, and a couple more deep breaths. Excellent, and then you can come out of it, bring your hands down behind you and sitting back. We're going to do one more vinyasa. So again, you can sit out the vinyasa or you can join us as we go up through our down dog, up dog. So bringing the shins in, crossing the shins in, bring your hands next to your hips and starting to push yourself up with your arms and then tuck your toes under, inhale, roll forwards or just come forward. Bring your hands forward, legs come back, coming into plank and knees, chest and chin all coming down all the way into plank. Bring the legs down, forearms come forward or hands come forward and inhale, rolling up. Exhale, place your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under. Inhale, first coming onto your hands and knees, and then pushing up into your downward dog position. Bending the knees, bring the hands out, fingers out, and really enjoying this down dog because it's the last one of the day. So nice deep breaths. Bring your heels down towards the floor, really stretching the back of your legs. And then inhale, coming onto your knees and sitting back or rolling back into seated. And rolling your spine all the way down to the floor. Bring the soles of your feet on the floor. And we're going to start with our closing sequence. So make sure that in my case, there's no hair interfering with your neck, being comfortable on the floor. And bring your hands either onto your ankles or just down by your sides or interlacing your fingers underneath your hips. And inhaling, pushing the hips up towards the ceiling. Keeping your knees parallel, keeping your chin and your neck parallel, straight, so not looking up to the side if you can avoid it. Inhale, nice deep breaths and pushing your hips up towards the ceiling. And exhale, slowly rolling your spine back down. We're going to do this 2 more times. So again, finding a place so you feel comfortable with your feet on the floor. And then inhale, peeling the hips up towards the ceiling. Keep your knees parallel. Nice deep breaths. And one more deep breath. And then exhale, coming all the way down. Having just a little rest here. And then one more time. So really pushing the hips up as far as they'll go. Inhale, pushing the hips up. Tucking shoulders under and coming all the way as high as you can go. Pushing the hips up towards the ceiling. Nice deep breaths. And one more deep breath. Exhale. Rolling all the way back down towards the floor. And then gently bring the knees into the chest. And just hugging your knees into your chest, very gently rolling from side to side. Nice. And then doing your version of shoulder stand. So remembering that your spine on the floor and your feet up in the air are a perfectly acceptable form of shoulder stand. So you can fully and legitimately stay here. And if you want to come all the way up into shoulder stand, then just a quick reminder, do not move your neck once you put your legs up in the air. There's a lot of pressure on your neck. If you want to go into shoulder stand, then bring your feet up over your head and placing your hands on your back. Inhaling very slowly, bring your legs all the way up towards the ceiling, making sure that the majority of the weight is on the back of your arms and on your shoulders. And inhaling, looking up towards the toes. Wherever you are, taking 8 to 10 of your own deep breaths before you slowly bring your feet back down. And then when you're ready, if you were here, you were allowed to stay here. If you had your feet all the way up in shoulder stand, bring your feet up over your head and keeping them there for about 4 of your own deep breaths. So keep your hands down on the floor, legs out straight or knees towards or on the forehead. Nice deep breaths. And then when you're ready, wherever you were, using your hands as a stopper to very slowly roll your spine and then slowly bring your legs back down towards the floor. Legs straight or knees bent if that's too much on your lower back, all the way down to the floor. Lovely. And then last but not least, our counter posture, our fish pose. So coming up onto the top of your head and onto your forearms, puffing your chest up towards the ceiling. Nice deep breaths. You can also put a cushion underneath your back if putting weight on your head or on the back of your arms is too much. What we're trying to do is just to stretch out the back and do a little back bend. Nice deep breaths. And when you're ready, tucking your chin into your chest, very slowly coming back down. And then you can start your Shavasana here, but you may want to, as always, get really comfortable. So get your blanket, get your cushion, get your socks on, whatever it is that you need to do. Or also, might be quite nice to do one last roll. So bring the knees into the chest first. And then just having a little rock and rolling the legs back down before you start your Shavasana. So do whatever it is that you need to do to get comfortable. Maybe getting an extra layer to make sure that you stay nice and warm. Wherever you are, when you're ready, starting your Shavasana, so bringing your feet out towards the sides of your mat, palms up and out towards the sides of your mat, getting really, really comfortable. And just slowly closing the eyes when you're ready. Allowing yourself to melt into the floor, letting go of any particular way in which you're breathing, letting go of the practice. Letting go of everything that we've just done over the last hour or so. And just fully allowing yourself to relax into the floor. So letting go of your breath, allowing your breath to return back to normal. Relaxing the top of your head, your forehead, your eyes, your ears, and even your nose. Relaxing your mouth, your tongue, and your jaw. Allowing your mouth to be slightly open. Releasing any tension in your neck and in your throat. Releasing any tension in your shoulders, down your arms, in your elbows, wrists, and your fingers. Releasing any tension in your chest and down your spine. Relaxing your abdomen and your hips, the thighs, down the back of your legs, your knees, your calves, your shins, and then finally your ankles and your toes. And just for the next few minutes, just allowing yourself to completely let go of everything that's been passing through your mind. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nowhere to be. And fully allowing yourself to relax into the ground. And then should you choose to accept the special exercise of today, and if your mind feels like it wants to think, and bringing your awareness to the things that you're grateful for. It could be very small details, it could be very big things. It could be one thing that you're grateful for that's occupying your mind. Or you could be struggling to think of something. Just trying to list 10 things that you're grateful for today. And just allowing that gratitude to fill your mind and fill your awareness. And hopefully maybe bring a smile to your face. And then letting go of that practice and bringing your awareness back to your breathing. Firstly, just noticing the way that you're breathing, noticing whether it's fast or slow, deep, shallow. And then bringing some more intentional inhales and exhales, filling your whole body, filling your lungs. Imagining that your breath is filling the contours of your body. And then bringing your awareness to the outside, to the outline of your body on the floor. And then keeping the eyes closed, bringing a little bit of movement back to your toes and to your fingers. And then to your wrists and to your ankles. And then again, keeping the eyes closed, bringing the feet together and bring the hands together up and over your head, having a big morning stretch. Breathing into the stretch. And when you're ready, bring your knees into your chest and hugging your knees into your chest. And maybe just gently rolling slightly from side to side. All the while keeping your eyes closed. And then when you're ready, rolling over to your right side and using your hand or your arm as a pillow. And just again, for the last time, allowing yourself to melt into the floor just for a moment. No rush, nowhere to be, nothing to do. And then again, keeping the eyes closed, very slowly pushing yourself back up to a comfortably seated position. And just beginning to grow into the space above your head. Spine long, relaxing the shoulders down, keeping that connection to the ground underneath you. And when you're ready, slowly starting to open the eyes, coming back into the room, coming back into yourself, becoming aware again of where you are and who you are. Thank you very much, everybody. And again, like I said last week, if you just want to disappear, you don't need to say anything, you can just disappear off Zoom and continue being relaxed, or you're very welcome to turn your mic on and say whatever you want to say.